Sight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. Today is a subject which I promised to talk about earlier on, but I didn't get to it, and it's maybe a small thing, but it's symptomatic of what's really going on in this country, in Canada. And I entitle it, Leasing a Car in Canada. Think hard. Buying a car in Canada. Think hard. I've put a link to a website in Canada and you can see what they're talking about, but they don't address the issue. And here is the issue. This is why you don't know what's going on in Canada. Canadians are being fleeced. Here's my point. As car manufacturers make it virtually impossible for Canadians to buy a car in the United States, whatever happened to NAFTA, I hear you ask? Should then we not be paying the same as Americans? After all, if you apply that logic, surely they're not valuing Canadian automobiles in US dollars and converting it, as they claim the US and Canadian operations are separate. But you know and I know that they're not. They are valuing Canadian transactions in US dollars, and that's why you're paying more. So why are Canadians paying through the nose for their ability? I have two examples here. The first is a Toyota Corolla and the second is a Toyota Highlander. Now, they cost, surprisingly enough, about the same dollar for dollar, regardless of the exchange rate, within $200 or $300. But of course, we pay an awful lot more in tax than they do in the United States. But despite that, the car that I'm talking about, Toyota Corolla SE, in the United States is $21,554. You can lease that in the United States for 36 months for $139. The same car in Canada is $21,248. You can lease that for 36 months also. But here's the difference. $338.73. So it's $139.36, that's $139.36 versus $338.73. Example number 2, a Toyota Highlander, $41,463 in the States, $41,463. In Canada, it's $45,908. Slightly more. I don't know why, but it is slightly more. The lease on the Toyota Highlander is $327 a month for 36 months. In Canada, $773 a month plus. Why are Canadians paying so much? After all, there is no link between Toyota Canada and Toyota US, is there? If this was the other way round and we were paying half what they were in the US, how long do you think it would be before Americans wouldn't put up with it? So why should we? And more importantly, if somebody who is starting out, and this is the point I want to make, and this is just one automobile company, if somebody's starting out and they want to get a new car and they're renting an apartment, everything else, all their costs, and they can lease a car for $140, a new car, they're going to think about doing that. But if it's $338 versus $139, they're going to think twice about doing that, aren't they? And doesn't that affect our economy and all the jobs that go with it? Just a thought. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you will find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Gab, and email. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments on Spreaker.com under A Radio. That's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. You can find all my podcasts and all my morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com. Click on the Morning Moments tab.